battle between synthetic perfection and alien evolution. Who will claim dominion over death? The wind howled across the broken landscape of old Earth, whispering through the skeletal ruins of cities long since abandoned. Blackened towers jutted into the ashen sky like jagged teeth, monuments to a civilization consumed by war. Beneath the bones of a fallen world, in the steel belly of an ancient research facility, something stirred. Buried deep within the concrete crypt was Hive Alpha, a sprawling nest formed from layers of resin and bone. It pulsed with heat and breath. At its core, wrapped in shadows and menace, the Queen stirred. She sensed a disturbance. It wasn't the normal thrumming of drones or the scuttling of facehuggers. This was something colder, alien even to her. It moved with no scent, no breath. Yet it radiated purpose. A challenge. Miles away, in a secure Skynet facility cloaked in electromagnetic storms, a figure emerged from cryogenic stasis. 7 feet tall. Reinforced titanium alloy endoskeleton. Hyperadaptive AI. Combat design forged over 1,000 simulations. It was Skynet's final solution. The Apex Hunter model, T-1X. The mission was simple: eradicate Hive Alpha. No machine had ever made it out of the hive. Skynet had sent dozens. Each disappeared into the dark, torn apart, corrupted by biomass or simply absorbed. This one was different. T-1X strode across the dead plains without fear, with no backup, no delay, and no illusions. It scanned the terrain with infrared eyes, locking onto the subtle heat patterns seeping from below the crust. The hive breathed like a living tumor, nestled beneath the skin of the Earth. T-1X raised its arm. A plasma cutter hissed to life and it began to dig. Inside Hive Alpha, the Queen opened her massive jaws and shrieked. The walls around her vibrated with fury. Drones hissed, writhing toward the sound, their claws eager for blood. But she raised a clawed limb and halted them. This fight was hers. As T-1X breached the hive's outer membrane, the temperature dropped sharply. Acidic mist clung to the walls. The scent of rot and resin was thick. The hunter stepped inside and activated its internal filters. Motion trackers pinged constantly. The walls themselves seemed alive, and the dripping ceilings pulsed with cocoons. Unbothered, the machine marched forward. Behind it, a drone silently uncurled from the ceiling, tail raised. T-1X didn't turn. It spun with mechanical precision, caught the creature mid-leap, and crushed its skull against the wall with a single fluid motion. The tail flicked in agony, spraying acid, but T-1X leapt clear, rerouting power to leg servos. Its armor hissed but held. Further down, the corridors widened into a cathedral of nightmares. The Queen waited, coiled upon a nest of egg sacs and skeletons. Her crown-like head stretched upward, nearly brushing the ceiling. Her body glistened with mucus and darkness. She hissed. T-1X stepped into the chamber, its eyes unblinking. For a heartbeat, time froze. Then chaos erupted. The Queen lunged with shocking speed, a blur of claws and teeth. T-1X met her charge head-on, its hydraulic fists slamming into her ribbed carapace with explosive force. She shrieked as a metal fist drove into her side, cracking her armor, but her tail swept low and fast, catching T-1X's leg and sending it flying into the wall. The machine recalibrated mid-air, embedding itself upright into the resin wall. Before gravity could claim it, it launched forward again. The Queen reared back, preparing another strike. T-1X fired a micropulse grenade into her midsection. The explosion shook the chamber. Drone eggs burst. Acid rained down. The Queen staggered, smoke rising from her ribs. But she didn't fall. She roared and the walls came alive. Drones poured in from above and behind, screeching, claws flailing. T-1X pivoted, both arms converting into dual plasma lances. The room flashed with heat and light. Alien bodies fell in heaps. But more came. They swarmed, tearing at its limbs, acid hissing through its joints. T-1X activated its core defense system, a thermal shockwave. A burst of 4,000 degrees Celsius heat vaporized the nearest dozen creatures. The rest fell back. The Queen hissed, wounded but calculating. She charged again. This time, T-1X caught her by the neck, pushing her into the wall. It raised a plasma spike toward her brainstem, but she countered, ramming her inner jaw straight into its chest. Sparks flew. Damage warnings blinked. T-1X punched her face, again and again, fracturing her crown. She screamed and grabbed its arm, biting through metal, tearing out wires. Acid splattered. Pistons snapped. The fight became feral. The two titans tore at each other, claws versus steel, acid versus plasma, instinct versus logic. Around them, drones formed a circle, watching their queen fight her own war. Skynet monitored in silence, its neural net calculating in real time, adapting. Inside the machine's processor, new strategies formed. Weaknesses identified. The Queen slowed. T-1X seized the moment. With its remaining functional arm, it drove its spike into the Queen's side, twisting. Her blood sprayed, sizzling over its face. She shrieked in fury, her massive tail wrapping around its torso. With a final, bone-crushing twist, she slammed it into the ground. The floor cracked. T-1X didn't rise. She staggered back, wounded, legs trembling. Acid leaked from dozens of gashes. Her breathing became ragged. Still, she stood victorious. Or so it seemed. T-1X's eyes flickered. From within its shattered chest, a small sphere emerged. Glowing red. Failsafe. A logic bomb. Skynet's final contingency. The Queen lunged, sensing danger, but too late. The sphere detonated. It wasn't fire or plasma. It was silence. An electromagnetic pulse rippled outward, frying every neural synapse in a 100-meter radius. The drone screamed once and fell. The hive dimmed. The Queen staggered, her limbs twitching, her connection to the hive mind severed. And T-1X stood again, scarred, broken, but alive. It stepped toward the Queen, who now crawled weakened. Her crown drooped, her tail dragged. Still, she raised herself, refusing to bow. T-1X paused. Something in its logic core reeled. The mission was to kill. But data flooded its processors, observations of her strategy, her adaptation, her maternal instincts. Not just a beast, a ruler, a code. It recalibrated. A new directive formed. Preserve, study, replicate. Instead of striking, T-1X stepped back. The Queen hissed, uncertain. Then she turned. Dragging herself deeper into the hive's catacombs, she vanished into shadow. T-1X watched. Mission incomplete. Objective evolved. It activated beacon mode. Above ground, a Skynet drone adjusted course. Reinforcements were coming, not to destroy, but to harvest. A fusion of machine and monster had just begun. Below, the Queen laid a new egg. Its surface dark, metallic, almost reflective. A new kind of terror was growing, and it would obey no one. Not Skynet, not the Queen, only itself.